Mature content. The following stream contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences, including mature themes, strong language, and potentially sensitive material. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody? Sorry about that little, I don't know what just happened there. The chat got all messed up, but now it's better. Hey, babe.
Hi, honey.
So I was questioning whether I was going to go live because we watched Charlie's and it was basically like, I'm still innocent, judges like life, plus 60, whatever. And that was it. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do a rewatch of Donna's if nothing happens. And oh boy, a lot happened. I didn't see all of it live because I was working, but we're going to do a little rewatch here. And Babe was so angry that she's like, I'm going to join you too. So, thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to fuck with you, buddy. Let me turn down. We're gonna... Julia, member for 2 months. Thank you so much. Also got a $5 Venmo from Betty. Thank you so much for that. Hey, everyone. Hey, a lot of familiar faces. Oh, Yindra's here. What's up, Yindra? By the way, Yindra was messaging me and she's like, it just shows their privilege. And it really just shows. She was so right. Shows their privilege. So let's get into this bad boy. I got it all set up. Man, I was... we were both fuming.
Babe, do you think like 1.25 for the beginning of all like the letters from the old people's clubs?
Sure, we can do that as long as it, yeah. And Ben fucking Graber. I should have known. I should have known Ben Graber. Ben Graber, by the way, has me blocked on Twitter because I was calling him out. Because if you guys, actually, I could show the clip. I think I have it up. Let me see. Before we start, Ben Graber was on one of the things, and he's like, the only thing that Donna Adelson is guilty of is being a loving mother, I believe, is what it was. Let me see if I can show that clip just real quick. So if you don't know who Ben fucking Graber is, this piece of shit, fuck him. Expect a lot of expletives tonight, by the way, if you're new to the channel and you don't know that. But like, I was just, all right, so let me see here. This is Ben Graber. I'm not going to show the whole video. This is Ben Graber.
Guilty of as being a loving mother.
Did your mom?
The only thing Donna's guilty of is being a loving mother.
Did your mom call?
The only thing Donna's guilty of is being a loving mother.
Did your?
And he has me blocked, but if you want to see Ben Graber, there he is. This is the first dude. Politician, physician, and author. Former state rep of the Broward County. So let's get going for this. Oh, and by the way, stupid Dopey here. All of a sudden, she didn't need headphones to hear. Weird how that works, huh? And Harv had on his dumb suit. And as Babe pointed out, Harv has not been to the barber lately. Harv it's not been his priority here to get the hair, like the back of on his neck there. The man needs a trim.
Which part of page 5?
Oh, I mean, I don't think we have to watch all this, but
is there?
let's just watch the beginning of the problems they have with the...
What are the corrections?
I gotta make this louder.
In there?
On page 1, they have the date of arrest.
Hold on.
As November 20th, 2023, and she was actually arrested on November the 13th of 2023.
Do those.
Yes, sir.
That was 23. Go ahead.
On page number 5, there are several. The first place, near the top, it says wage, salary, and this was supposed to be her current employment that she had, and it said $1,000. She did not have employment where she made $1,000. She was not receiving any salaried income, so that should be 0.
Like,
Councilman,
who
do you wish to be
cares?
heard concerning this?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Kaplan's
Again,
not
I will
wanting to be here
notate
during
the
any.
wage salary as $0.00.
Thank you, Judge. The next, underneath there, it says the number of jobs in the past 2 years, 1. She has had no job. She's been evaluated.
She's a broke ass bum, not working at all. So we're gonna skip that, just so you know, in case you missed it. I'm not gonna play all the stupid things that they complained about was messed up, because who cares? Still more.
Go ahead, Ms. Wolford.
Yes, sir. That's actually
To the non-homicide offenses come up in other cases.
V State 420.
And then there was some argument about the set, like the, I don't know what they were doing with the sentencing, but I don't care about that. If you want to watch, it's on Tallahassee Democrat. If you want to watch the whole thing, I'm getting into the statements.
All right, Dr. Graber, try to talk for me one more time. 1, 2, 3.
And of course, Dr. Graber couldn't figure out his fucking Zoom.
To me, and my background is
It is. Let me swear you in again. Something you will give today will be the truth.
I do.
You can lower your head. If you're examining the witness, or is he reading a statement?
he's going to present a statement, Judge.
Dr. Graber, you may proceed at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak on behalf of Donna Adelson. If I can, let me just brief description of who I am, my background. I've been a friend of the Adelson family since 1979. The first 20 years I knew them, we were actively engaged in many activities. And the last 20 years, I haven't seen them that much until this trial became apparent to me. And my background is I'm a medical doctor practicing obstetrics and gynecology, 45 years here in Florida. I was also a...
Let me just pause this. Who fucking gives a shit about your background? Do you give a shit, babe? No.
state legislature from 1988 to 96, representing Coral Springs and parts of Broward County. I was the county commissioner in Broward County and mayor of Broward County for 1 year in 2006. Also a professor at the University of Florida Medical School and the University of Miami Medical School in clinical OB/GYN. And I'm here to speak today on behalf of Donna Adelson, the person I've known for a great deal of time. Hi Donna, just want to say hi. I'm sorry I can't be there to hug you. And I'm sorry.
What? I'm sorry. I just want to say hi to Donna. Like, the thing that drives me fucking crazy about this is you're looking at a convicted murderer. That piece of shit on the screen is a convicted murderer. This is no different than any other convicted murderer. Like someone who shot someone, someone who stabbed someone, and you got these people like, oh, I just wanted to say hi to Donna. Sorry I wasn't there to hug you, sweetie. She's a fucking convicted murderer. She's a convicted murderer. This isn't just some woman, some grandma. She like and the fucking hold on, let me bring Babe back on. Whoops. Like, am I crazy, Babe? Like, oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to hug you and give you smooches. We could get some coffee. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't get to have that dinner after your trial was over. But I'm here to, on your behalf, to let you know that you have friends, and I believe in you. Let me say that, Tom, I never thought we'd be here at this situation when I first met you. It's
what kind of statement is that? Oh, I just want to say, Donna, I never thought you would kill a man, but here we are. Here I am. Here we are. Just a couple of crazy kids. Who would have thought? It's like it's like when Paul Rudd was on the Wing show, and he's like, "Who would have thought? Who would have thought?"
total shock to me and to our families, and it's a tragedy for me to have to be here to talk about this. I feel very bad for your family, for the Martell family, for the tragedy everyone's experiencing. To me, I've been following this for 2 years. It appears to be...
Oh, he's been following for 2 years, babe. And the thing that makes me so mad every time I think about it is the Markells are sitting there on Zoom watching this bullshit. Oh, you've been watching it for 2 years? Is that what you've been doing, Graber, you piece of shit? Graber should not be... I hope if... Oh, he makes me so bad. He makes me so... 11 years! This piece of shit murdered Dan Markel. For 2 years he's been following it.
Dissolution of 2 families. My background is similar in many ways to both families. Like Ruth Markel, I'm the son of Holocaust survivors. I actually was born in Germany at displaced persons camp. Came to the United States at the age of 18 months. So like the boys, Lincoln and Benjamin, I don't have a lot of recollection from the first beginning of my time in the United States, but they don't have the recollection of their father, which is very sad to me. But they do have families, and I had family. And we have to learn a great deal from our tragedies how to come back into life. My distress is not just for Donna and the Adelsons, but for the Markells as well, and especially for 3 generations of each family, which I see in tragic downward swing. And yet, I did meet Lincoln and Benjamin at the bar mitzvah last year, and I got to meet those 2 boys, wonderful boys. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Dan Markel, but I have...
I just missed the... Let's say, coins for comments. Who watched Jay and Donna? Thank you, Inquisitive Me. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, by the way, Ben got to go to the bar mitzvah, but the Markells did not. So glad he could bring that up. Glad Bren could bring that up.
Articles. Very impressive, very brilliant, very talented man who made some very good points about the law and about compassion in the law, which he felt could be improved. And I agree with that. So part of what I'd like to say today is basically that I do believe that Donna is a victim of not just circumstance, but has been actively exploited.
Donna, the victim. She loved to hear that, right, babe? Donna's the victim here. You're muted, babe.
Is it my first day here or what? Yes, she loves hearing that, and that is really like, you can tell that from her face. She loved hearing it, but also just like Rashbaum did in Charlie's trial, bringing up Dan's view on the law and compassion in the law is so disgusting. Like, how re-traumatizing is that to hear the murderers of your son, like, saying, like, your son wouldn't want me to go to prison. Your son would want me out and about, you know, like, it's so disgusting. It's so, like, really gross. Sorry to not be more eloquent.
The parties involved in this case, I believe she was exploited by her son. Knowing Donna, who was the youngest child in her family, knowing her mother, and how close she was with her mother, and understanding their love and need for family, it makes no sense to me that she would pursue an activity that will destroy 2 families like it has. However, having known her son and some...
Yeah, it made sense to the jury, you fucking idiot.
...of his issues, I believe Donna, in her own naive way, trying to be a loving mother, was subdued by guilt, by silence, by denial, and perhaps even active exploitation, and used for activities she had no part of. So I believe she's innocent on all 3 counts, even though she was found guilty on all 3 counts. Part of my understanding...
No one gives a shit what you think, Ben. You know, another thing about all these witnesses, or most of them, was they're all trying to retry the fucking case. The case is over. They're only supposed to be there to be like, oh, Donna was so great. Not go over the whole case, and they all did it.
is also that the victims here are both families, and to watch the hate and distress and the vengeance I see is a terrible thing to look at.
You're a fucking moron. The victim here are the Markells. The victims are the Markells, Ben. You fucking idiot. You fucking moron. I have no sympathy or empathy for these pieces of shit. This guy didn't have to fucking do this. He saw all the evidence and they just don't care and they're still gonna get up and say this shit. I fucking hate this guy so much.
Holocaust survivors.
The Holocaust survivors? What the fuck does that have to do with this? Fuck you. And thank you, Ann, for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Also, thank you, YouTube replier, for the coffee, Pam for the Cash App, and Tony for the Venmo. Thank you so much, everybody. Babe, you have something to say? I feel like you do.
No, I just told, I'm glad. Well, I said to Jay, I was like, I could pick up extra groups tonight, though, to make some extra money, but he thought that it would be okay if I came on because we'd probably get a super chat or two. So thank you all because you made it so I didn't have to work extra tonight.
Yes, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it.
Would understand that how damaging it is to families. I would have to say my background, I grew up in the Bronx, went to the public school system.
He grew up in the Bronx. He's probably a fucking Yankees fan.
I was at Queens College when Donna was there, but I didn't know her. She graduated a year after I did. My wife, Sandy, graduated from Queens College as well.
No one cares, Ben. No one gives a fuck about you and your dumb college and your dumb wife. His wife might not be dumb, but I mean, if she's married to him, that's...
Friends, we met up after being there a while. New, young families, professionals trying to build a life, having children.
It's like the biography of Donna Adelson. And like, who gives this...
Community, which we did. So to see this situation occur, to me, is devastating in many aspects. As a legislator, I can tell you that we see things in law. Even though I'm a doctor and I was chairman of healthcare, I was a Democrat.
Man, he loves himself, huh, babe? He was a legislator and he was a doctor. This man loves himself. Fucking idiot.
Majority leader. I sat on Judiciary Committee for 2 years. I understand the laws.
Look at him. Look at him. He's so proud of himself. He's so proud. It's a murderer's sentencing, and this man is beaming about how great he is. I mean,
sentencing guidelines and participated in passing them at that time. What I learned over the years was that I had the privilege of passing many laws, because I was a leader and was able to work both sides. So many of my laws exist in the books. I get calls from judges periodically asking me about the intent of the law when I wrote it, because they have a case and it's come down to what did you intend to happen from this law. And they would ask my opinion and they would use that information. So I'd like to look a little bit about the intent of the judicial guidelines for sentencing. I think the life without parole is a very harsh sentence. And that was not the intent, was to punish domestic cases with that, but to hit drug dealers and organized crime.
Well,
night off for Shannon. Hope no one in chat has ever had to get a pap smear from OB/GYN Ben Graber.
Thank you so much, Abby. And thank you, Joan, who just sent $50 Venmo. Thank you so much, Joan. Thank you so much.
And dangerous to the public. But I think it's been switched over to be used in conspiracy theories against the average citizen, which is not the intent of the law.
It's murder, you piece of shit. The average
citizen.
So, in other words, this rich white woman should not be having to deal with this. This murderer, this wasn't meant for her. This wasn't meant. These sentencing rules weren't meant for Donna Adelson. Everyone else.
He's like, it should be for like gangs and drugs and stuff like that, not for rich white women.
Not for murdering rich grandmas. This is outrageous.
In my opinion. Second of all, I think that it's unfortunate.
Just adding to the night off fund party popper.
Thank you so much,
This case has
Jimmy.
gone into so many new victims. I mean, we've already, you have 4 victims who have been found guilty of murder. 2 have committed the murder, maybe 1. The others are conspiracy theories. And I would believe that I would suggest that needs to be reviewed by the legislature. That's my opinion.
All right, then go to Congress. Make a bill. You were a politician. I'm going to make this lower because I'm screaming. Not, is it, babe, are you supposed to propose legislation at a murderer's sentencing? Is that the place? Is that the new part? Is that part of the Florida Constitution?
I think so. You're supposed to like read your CV, then give like a short summation, and then propose legislation.
It's a new way. This is a new way to get a bill. Maybe Graber could have worked on the government shutdown. He should have brought that up. Graber.
Oh my gosh, I wish he would. I really need him to get the government back to work because I need TSA up and moving.
Babe's mom and sister are coming to visit at the end of the week. So, Graber, you missed an opportunity.
Now, in this case...
Dr. Graber, before you continue...
And by the way, this is just one of many moments of Judge Everett like, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. And at one point, he almost really did. And he's like the hardest man to piss off. But he was like, is this happening?
Is this being offered as character? Because he is not an expert on the law.
It's character, Judge.
Very well. You may continue, Doctor.
Yes, that's my opinion from my background. That's not, I'm not giving a professional opinion. I'm giving my personal opinion from experience. What I'm asking the court today is, to me, the court, the judicial system, the power of the judicial system is in the judge. And it is the judge who is the presenter of a safety net for the public. To show some compassion when the cold written law, with every box checked off, shows no compassion, where does the compassion come from? It should come from the judge, it should come from the jury. And I think that maybe that's something we have to consider. So at this point, what I'm saying is that I believe Donna Adelson is a 5-star mother, did everything she could do for her kids, for her family.
5-star mother. 5-star mother.
For her community. She has no bad intentions. She's not a leader. She's a baby in her family. She's always been...
No bad intentions. Had a man murdered. He was convicted of murder, but no bad intentions.
I mean, but how many stars on the murder?
Good question. Good question. Look at this fucking guy. I hate him.
Follower. Yes, she makes noise and she complains, but that's not her behavior. This is not her profile. So I understand that nothing can be changed, but I want to put on record that I believe she is innocent of these 3 counts, and we believe her. With that, I would have to say, sometimes bad things happen to good people, and I think this is one of those cases.
Dan Markel was murdered. Donna Adelson was convicted of his murder, and this fucking piece of shit has the audacity to say sometimes bad things happen to good people. Like, this guy is scum. This guy is the worst of the fucking worst. Right above Donna, because he didn't kill anyone, but fuck him. Like, seriously? Like, the Markels are listening to this? It makes me so mad, and I've said this before at these hearings. All this shit should have to be pre-approved by the judge before they get to fucking talk. They shouldn't be allowed to just spew off whatever the fuck they want to. The witnesses, Donna, like, it shouldn't just be like a free fall to say whatever the fuck you want. It makes me so mad every time. She's already convicted. This isn't like it's a question of whether she's convicted. Like, fuck you.
Unfortunate. For the families, I would ask, beg them, think about the 2 boys. Dad's not here, but a piece of him is here, and those 2 boys. And their future, they're both teenagers now. Their future depends a lot on what's going on here, and how they're going to be perceived in the future, and how they will interpret the future based on this. So I think it's time for some compassion, some understanding, some forgiving, perhaps it's time to take a step back and let everyone heal from this process. With that, I say to you, Donna, Samuel and I love you, we support you and the family, and we hope for you the best. God bless you. And Your Honor, thank you for letting me speak.
Let's have an examination for the witness.
All right, so let me reiterate, fuck Ben Graber, and also let me thank Elizabeth L. for the coffee. Thank you so much.
Judge.
Does the state have an examination for the witness?
No, sir.
Dr. Graber, you can remain on the Zoom. I would just ask you to mute yourself at this point.
I would have been Dr. Graber, get the fuck out of the Zoom.
Defense have any other witnesses to present or evidence?
Yes, Judge. We have Rick Chagrin, who's present, who would like to make a brief statement.
Farron just $20 Venmo, consistently being funny and right about the Adelsons. Thank you so much, Farron. Appreciate you.
Please raise.
This fucking guy, he testified at the trial. Wheeling himself
Please
up.
raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give?
This was
contraire?
No, this was not au contraire. That was the other guy.
Okay.
This is Donna and Harv's tech support who helped them. This guy, if this guy is your tech support, you're in trouble. This is the guy who helped them book their visa for their one-way.
Yes.
If this guy's your tech support, you're going to jail.
Today will be the truth.
I do.
You can lower your hand. You may direct the witness or you may give a statement.
If you could state your full name, please.
My name is Richard Gordon Chagrin.
And have you prepared a statement here today?
Yes, I have.
Okay, you can give that to the court at this time.
Okay. This is on behalf of myself and my wife, Susan Brotman, an attorney at law. We have known Donna Adelson for over 35 years. She's been a dear friend and travel companion, and we are still in shock of her current circumstances. We know her to be a loving parent, wife, and grandparent. We stand behind her claim of innocence. We feel the trial was held in a county where there's been a lot of bad and inaccurate negative publicity, therefore not allowing a fair trial. We contend if a change of venue was granted, she would have been found not guilty. We are hopeful she will be relocated to South Florida, where she can pursue all legal remedies available. Thank you very much for your consideration.
These are character statements or quibbling about the evidence and the rulings?
I mean, that was some fucking shade from the amazing Judge Everett. He's like, "Are you shitting me?" Like he's not a judge. Like, are you like who's gonna come down? But that statement in and of itself is like, "Are you kidding me with this bullshit?"
Judge, they're here to talk about their friendship and time. Thank you.
Any witness examination for Mr. Chagrin?
Scotty? No, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Any other witnesses?
We did provide to the court, if you received your copy, Judge, some very short letters that were written as character support on behalf of Mrs. Adelson, if I may go through those at this time.
Go ahead.
Thank you. The first letter that was submitted to the court was by Annie Cunningham and Ronald Gutterson, who testified at trial.
For those who don't know, Annie Cunningham is senior citizen Snooki. She came in with the pop collar.
Frosted lips.
Frosted lips. She lied about some shit. Then she had to go on a plane. Then they grabbed her before she got on the plane because they caught her lying. She lied about what did she? She lied about calling Donna after I forget what it was, but they like busted her.
WhatsApp. WhatsApp.
Right. First,
and what was the other one called?
Signal. I don't know what it was, but they said that she testified that she called and talked to Donna, and they're like, "We have your phone records," and don't. And so she's like, "Oh, it must have been WhatsApp." And then George is like, "They didn't have WhatsApp calls then." She's like, "Oh, it must have been. It wasn't Signal. It was something else." And she's like, "Yeah." And George is like, "You dirty fucking liar." She didn't say that out loud. I did. But. Viber.
They say we are writing this letter to restate our knowledge and feelings regarding Donna Adelson. We have known Donna since 2009 and consider her to be our dearest friend. Donna is a kind, caring, loving person. She was always concerned with the welfare of others. She is not the monster portrayed by the media. Donna is incapable of threatening or harming anyone. Donna is almost 76 years old and in frail health after almost 2 years of incarceration. We will always believe her to be innocent and ask the court to take these factors into consideration when deciding Donna's sentence.
She didn't read it, but she ended that with Jim Tan Laundry and then her signature.
Next, we submitted to the court was one of her longtime friends, Ruth Rosenberg. who wrote, "I immigrated to the USA from Israel when I was 1 month shy of 12. I lived in Israel in a town of 5,000 inhabitants where my family knew almost everyone, and came to New York City, Queens, with a population of close to 8 million residents. To say it was a culture shock is an understatement. I didn't speak any English and physically looked like an underdeveloped child in comparison to the American girls my age. I entered the 7th grade in September, not knowing any English, the quote stranger in school. For several months I sat..."
So this is quite literally Donna's 7th grade fucking friend. Like, what? By the way, the one thing that I was talking to Babe about is like pretty crazy that they had all these people. Charlie had 0, but Babe brought a good point, which is what do you want to say, Babe? What your point was? Who probably told him?
Possibly that Rashbaum said, "This is not going to be a thing. Like,
Right.
You're going to get your sentence and we're going to work on the appeal. It's not going to, nothing will make a difference." Because I do think that Rashbaum, although small and strange, is a much better attorney than this. I mean, this woman was asleep during the trial.
You can't argue that. Yeah, Rashbaum was definitely better.
By myself at lunchtime in the cafeteria, staring at the next table, where Donna and a group of her friends were conversing, laughing, and having a nice time. One day, Donna walked over to my table and asked me if I would like to join them, and of course I said yes, please. That kind gesture started a 62-plus year friendship.
Judge Everett's like, Donna invited someone to his 7th grade lunch table? All right, we can't do life for this one.
She invited me to her house to meet her family, and over time we became like sisters. I can recall several instances where Donna helped me obtain a job so I can help my parents financially. She introduced me to a family in a bungalow colony in the Catskills who needed a mother's helper for their daughters in the summer of '66. The money I earned helped my parents pay for the clothes.
Babe, it's also so like rich person coded. Like, they needed a mother's helper in the Catskills. Later, she gets her a job in the Berkshires.
In the summer of '66, we went
while
and
we
saw
were summering in the Catskills.
We were in the Catskills. This comedian, Miss Maisel, came up and what the fuck?
Closing costs on their house.
This young man, Lenny Bruce, had some funny things.
The following summer, she got me a job as a counselor at Camp Allegra in the Berkshires. When I had to decide on a career path, I consulted with Harvey and Donna about applying to dental school as my college advisor had recommended. Later that year, I was chosen to be the maid of honor at their wedding. We remained close friends throughout the years, even though we live more than 1,000 miles apart.
Look, this is the only time she may actually be crying because she's thinking about herself and her past. Although I don't think she had any tears the entire time. And Dr. Artie, thank you so much for being a Super Bowl. Dr. Artie, OG, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Artie.
Our families visited each other periodically, making sure that our children and grandchildren got to know each other. We attended life cycle events of our children, bat and bar mitzvahs, weddings, special birthdays, etc., and now our grandchildren's. Donna has always been a kind-hearted, generous, loving, and caring. She is one of my best friends, and I will forever remember and appreciate how she helped me with English while I helped her with math in Parsons Junior High School, and remained loyal through these 62-plus years. The situation she is in today is unimaginable to me. That is not the person I know and love.
It's so fucking wild because, like, do you guys think we didn't hear all the trials, every single trial where she talked about putting the kids in Hitler Youth uniforms, raising them Catholic, just all the shit that came out about her just being an absolute total piece of shit. Hey, but she went summering in the Berkshires with this fucking woman who wrote a letter, so let's not sentence her too harshly.
We also submitted a letter from Ron Ellis to the court. My name is Ron Ellis, and I have had the privilege of knowing Donna Adelson for more than 30 years. I am writing to you in hope of offering some perspective on the woman I have come to know so well over the course of our long friendship. Donna has been a steady and caring presence in my life. When my stepson passed away 11 years ago at the age of 34, Donna was there for me in ways I will never forget. She sat with me in my grief, listened when I needed to talk, and offered comfort when I felt overwhelmed. That kindness and empathy is the Donna I know. Someone who shows up for her friends and offers strength in their darkest moments. Over the years, I have seen Donna's compassion extend beyond just me. She has been a devoted mother, a loyal friend, and someone who consistently tried to bring warmth and generosity to those around her. I understand fully the gravity of the situation before the court, but I hope that when you consider Donna's sentence, you will also weigh the years of kindness, care, and humanity she has shown to others. I believe that Donna still has the ability to contribute positively, even under these circumstances, and that she is capable of reflection and growth. I respectfully ask that you take these qualities into account when you make your decision. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, Ron Ellis.
That may be the only decent letter. Not that it was like great, but like doing what it was supposed to do.
Right. It was saying
innocent.
like she still has capacity to help people or to, contribute to society.
Which, by the way, we already know from her a little time in jail that she's gonna be a fucking menace in there too. She's bribing people with pianos and shit.
Yeah, and I mean that's all things you can do in jail still. Like you can help people while you're in just Jessica for Justice, and I just had the same exact thought. Yes, you can help people in prison. So there you go. Your new little purpose, Donna Sue.
Inquisitively me, welcome to the Bows. Thank you so much.
And then a brief letter from Marion and Tim Schaffman. She writes, "We have known Donna for over 50 years, and although we live far apart and have seen her often over the years, we wanted to share with you our impressions of the lovely person we have known. Donna has always been a loving, kind mother and wife, and also an exemplary daughter to her parents, who often stayed with their family. We have never heard her utter a negative word about anyone, and had tremendous pride in every member of her family. She retained many friends from her childhood and developed long, satisfying friendships with the new people she met throughout each stage of her life. Donna was always intelligent, charismatic, and sensitive to everyone. She always listened to anyone's problems and offered a helping hand when she could. Most notably, her genuine concern over our and others' health issues was truly appreciated. As you can see, it is very difficult for us to view her as anybody other than the sweet, caring person we knew. Sincerely, Marianne and Ted Schaffman."
Not a negative word other than gibbers, asshole, fucker, Jew in boots, all the shit she said.
Bastard, Hitler, what they call him? A religious zealot.
Religious zealot. Didn't he call him the devil or Satan or something?
Yes.
But other than that, not
the Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord, that's what it was. Good job, babe. Other than that, not a negative word.
Never a negative word.
Next is a letter from Jessica Ussery. "Dear Judge Everett, my name is Jessica Ussery, and I am writing this letter to express my personal experiences and knowledge of Donna Adelson's character. Donna and I share a beloved grandson, Roman Harvey Adelson."
Actually, I think STD was Wendy, right? And speaking of Wendy, I want to ask this question to people who think Wendy is innocent, completely innocent. Steve-O from My Live from TikTok, or Glenn Thomas, or the other defenders of Wendy who think she's completely innocent. If you think Wendy Adelson is completely innocent, why is she not at her mother's fucking conviction? Why is she not there right now? Why wasn't she at Charlie's? Why is she not fighting tooth and nail to get these convictions overturned? Because they got the wrong people. She said herself it wasn't her family when Georgia asked her. Why is she not fighting tooth and nail? Babe, what was her job again? What's her job?
She is a lawyer.
She's a lawyer. Why is she not fighting? Why is she not there? Why is she not giving statements? Where is she? If she's completely innocent.
2017. My first memory of Donna is a video made and shared on Mother's Day 2017. Charlie Adelson surprised his mom with the news that he and my daughter Brianna were expecting a baby. It warmed my heart to watch Donna's genuine excitement and happiness caught on video. Our families began spending time together as events and celebrations took place. I recall Donna being warm and welcoming. As I got to know her more, there was no doubt in my mind that she was a loving and devoted wife, mother, and grandmother. Roman's birth was a scheduled cesarean section on December the 5th. On that day, I was overcome with mixed emotions of excitement and fear. A family awaited Roman's birth at the hospital during unnerving procedure. Donna was affectionate and compassionate, as I was visibly anxious and emotional. I will always remember how she reassured and calmed me that day. We shared tears of joy and the hugs when a beautiful and healthy boy came into this world. Donna was caring and supportive of Bree as a new mom. I have many fond memories of time spent with the Adelsons. Although Charlie and Bree were no longer a couple beyond Roman's first year, we all remained close. Donna has been kind, thoughtful, loving, and generous. Thank you sincerely for taking the time to read the letter, Jessica Goosery.
Thank you, Angela.
And then a short letter to whom it may concern. I've worked at Adelson Institute for Aesthetic and Implant Dentistry from October 3rd, 2011 to September of 2022. During my time of working there, I had the opportunity to experience the beautiful person that Donna Adelson is. Through my time of working often side by side with her, I've witnessed her grace and ability to diffuse upset patients. She is incredible with having compassion for others and is truly one of the sweetest people I know. She's so supportive and understanding when it comes to her employees. When an elderly person comes in as a patient, she always made sure they had assistance, whether needing help filling out forms or even opening the reception door for them. She always jumped at the opportunity to be kind and helpful. I witnessed this and I know it was sincere. I still use what I've learned from her and apply it while I'm at work every day. I recognize the gravity of the situation and understand the seriousness of the legal process, but I respectfully ask that you consider the positive qualities that define her. Sincerely, Erica Johnson. And then the last letter that we submitted from was Attorney Gary Cohn. He said, my name is Gary Cohen. I've been a member in good standing of the Florida Bar since 1980. I have known Donna and Harvey Adelson as personal friends and personal counsel for almost 40 years. Harvey was also my dentist for most of those years. I have been in the Adelson house, and they have been in mine numerous times over the years since their children were little ones. My wife and I have socialized with Harvey and Donna at dinners, blessed events such as bar and bat mitzvahs, and weddings, birthdays, and many other occasions. I've also traveled with them, including a wonderful trip to Africa with two of my sons several years ago. I therefore have had a unique opportunity to observe Donna under many circumstances. In all the time I have known her, I have literally never heard Donna raise her voice, lose her temper, act inappropriately, or treat anyone with less than full respect, and almost always with a smile on her face. I have never heard a bad word said about Donna from any other friend or person in my presence. She has always been an amazing mother to her children, and she and Harvey have had the most loving marriage that can be imagined. While I cannot comment on any of the facts of this case or any of the alleged events, I can say that the Donna I know is the last person I would ever think of when it comes to what has been this utterly horrible crime dealing with the death of Dan Markell. Being a trial lawyer for 45 years, I fully believe in the jury system and understand that a jury has spoken. However, the woman I've known so well for so long also needs to be understood as the wonderful wife, mother, grandmother, and friend that she has been known to me. I only hope that this information can be of use to the court when it comes to the sentencing of Donna Adelson. Gary Cohen. At this time, I believe that Mrs. Adelson's husband, Harvey Adelson, would like to address the court.
Oh boy, folks. If you did not see this, buckle up. Buckle up for this fucking piece of shit.
I would also like people who really just thought that Harvey was just like bumbling or stupid or didn't know every single thing that was going on to really pay attention to this, and tell me if that coincides with this person.
Yeah, just someone in the background who didn't know what was going on.
Yep.
Are these letters into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
Does the state have any objections?
Oh, by the way, there's Pat Sanford. Pat Sanford.
Remember me?
It will be composite defense 1 for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand. You may speak.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything.
At that point, he just should have said, I've been married to Donna Adelson for over 54 years. Therefore, if I am ever convicted, that is my sentence, and there should be nothing more.
So that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mind. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial, and I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently...
Clearly, he's never seen Wendy or Charlie's testimony if he didn't know that. If he would have seen either one of their testimony, he would have known real quick.
You can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits. They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about...
This fucking piece of shit is using his time at the sentencing to fucking call the Markells lawyers. His fucking wife was convicted of the murder, and this absolute piece of dog shit is calling the Markells liars. Like, at that point, the judge has got to be like, nope, that's it, you're done. Like, I hate this process.
But also to defend Wendy.
And to defend Wendy. Good point, babe. Good point. Like, fuck you. And holy shit, $50 from Evan Elizabeth Duke. Thank you so much for the super chat. Like, calling the Markells liars, they have to sit there on this Zoom and fucking watch this? It makes me so fucking mad.
Our grandchildren. Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury were...
A biased judge. Leave it to the Adelsons to come to the sentencing. Harv and Donna, they're talking to the man. The entitlement of these people. He's talking to the man who's about to fucking sentence his wife of murder, and he's like, this fucking judge is entitled. This fucking judge is biased. This judge is biased. Leave it to the Adelsons to do that at a sentencing. Call out the fucking judge. Like, are you kidding? That's how big their entitlement is. They think they can walk into a courtroom and bitch at the judge. Like, that's how entitled they are. Bitch at the judge.
Influenced by years of one-sided news pieces and social media.
Doctor, Ms. Fulford, this has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I just 1 moment, please?
Judge Everett's like, get your man. Get your man, Fulford. Get your man.
Go ahead.
Look at Georgia. Georgia's just like, you gotta be fucking. And by the way, now Fulford is like showing that she didn't even look at this. And then she's gotta fucking go through all those dumb fucking notes.
She's like, no, don't say that.
Like, no, you can't call the judge a piece of shit. Look at him, just staring at Judge Everett like he's a fucking tough guy. Like it's like Tato looking at Charlie. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, you piece of shit? You piece of human shit. And by the way, if he didn't piss off Georgia enough, I mean, this man should be charged too.
Thank you for letting me continue.
Fuck you.
Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what? This is not justice. It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
You have an examination for Dr. Adelson.
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Thanks for being here,
And you have a
Jessica.
witness
Thank you everyone for
statement
being
that
here.
you wish to give.
Sit your weak ass down, you stupid bitch. What a piece of shit. I mean, we knew he was a piece of shit. Babe, when we were watching it, Babe was like, I wish she could just say, don't sit down, Harvey. You're getting arrested too. You're under arrest. Like, get a cop to arrest him right there.
Judge, but Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Oh, and by the way, so what happens here?
Yes, Judge.
She wants to give a statement not under oath, and Judge Everett's like, no, you have to be under oath. But then it turns out she did not have to be under oath. Shockingly, her attorney's got something right.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if she wishes to speak.
Judge, the case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to
We don't have to watch this argument. We can just get to this dumb idiot. Because they have a whole thing.
From the first DCA.
Statement. In the case where it does state,
Would you like Mrs. Adelson at the lectern or here?
she can remain at council table.
Thank you. I'm going to move the microphone.
And she's like, oh, I can't with my handcuffs and my papers.
She's pissed about that. She could.
You'll need to speak loudly because this is not amplified.
Okay. Is this loud enough, Judge?
I can hear you.
Thank you for letting me speak. My son-in-law, Dan Markell, was a fine and decent man. He was well educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law, but more importantly, he was a caring and loving father. On July 18th, 2014, his car was followed, leaving his home. It should have been just like any other day, an ordinary day in the life of Ben and Lincoln's father, but it wasn't. He didn't know when he left his boys off at daycare that would be the last time he would see them, and the last time they would see him. He didn't know when he went to the gym afterwards that would be the last time he would exercise. And he didn't know when he drove home that his life would end within minutes.
They really do, and they did it during the trial. And Fulford does it when she's like arguing about the sentence. How like, oh, but he was, like I hate that they do that. Like they're trying to make it like she couldn't do. Like you're guilty. I totally agree, and I can't stand that when they do that.
Danny wasn't just being followed; he was being hunted. He was brutally murdered in broad daylight, sitting in his car, in his garage, by vicious killers. I cannot imagine the terror he felt when he saw a gun pointed at him through the window of his car. I cannot conceive of his heroic efforts to stay alive during the hours after the attack. Danny died in the early morning hours of July 19th. His death is a loss to his children, his parents, his
Not for her eyes, for her fucking sniffles.
sister, all of us in his family, his friends, his colleagues in the legal community, and to his students at FSU Law School. Danny's boys each have a photo of themselves with their Abba, their dad, beside their beds. They grew up kissing the framed photo and saying, "Good night, Abba, I love you." But pictures and memories are all they have because cruel, cold-hearted people took him from all of us who loved him. My heart was broken when Danny died. My grandsons were going to grow up without the father who loved them. I wondered, how could we help these boys through this trauma? It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children an abundance of love, the love that Danny would have given them if he were alive.
That's so upsetting.
It's so fucking upsetting. Just the Markells have to watch this. Meanwhile, we have the messages she sent to Wendy where she's like, they're not sad. They can't even remember this shit. They're not sad
And
about this.
you can't give the love of their dad to them. You're not their dad. No one is their dad.
It's an absolute
because you killed him.
Shari and Evan, thank you so much. Shari says, Dan, I'm sorry you were all alone in the hospital. Evan says, where are the stupid earphones? Yeah, exactly. Where are it? She could hear fine today. This piece of shit.
It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder. In both of Catherine Magbanaw's trials, the state claimed she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial, they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that I, this grandma, was the mastermind behind the murder. I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to take place. If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of actual evidence, the state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed. Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reason.
I like this part where she's like, where was it prior to the murder? I know you got a lot of shit after the murder, like where I paid the hitman, where I signed the checks. I know you have a lot of evidence after, but where was it before? Like, come on, guys.
But also the slow take from Georgia, like
I gotta see that again.
Go back for where was the evidence?
Danny killed. Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson, as it relates to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Mrs. Adelson an opportunity to be heard.
That's all this whole hearing was them trying to retry the fucking trial.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Please.
Another bitch slap by Judge Everett. Like you can keep going. You can keep going. Just show me how much you don't fucking care. Just show me. Keep showing me.
Proceed if you desire to do so.
It's sort of giving like when your parent is like, okay, you are grounded for 2 weeks, and then they just keep throwing crap at you, your kid, so you're like, okay, keep going. It's going to be another week.
Right.
And then you just
sure
like,
you want to say that? Keep going.
Okay, keep going.
Good point. Evan, again, super chat. Thank you so much. Honor, change the boys' last names and keep their dad's side of the family away. Narcissists, you watch money and wrote checks. Exactly, Evan. Thank you very much. And I think I might have missed something. Oh, and also, Riding Shotgun says, no way Wendy allowed Dan's picture in her home. Completely agree with that. Thank you so much, Riding Shotgun.
It's before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act. Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state needed to show that there was evidence before the murder to convict me.
Again.
The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett on the stand for hours. Their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder. The state's theory...
Other than when she texted Charlie and said, be there in 10 minutes. I'm outside your house. Other than her saying that she's outside of Charlie's house. She's such a piece of shit.
That my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water.
By the way, making her very clear, she's mad at the jury, she's mad at the judge, she's mad at the state.
By the media. Witness.
The media.
And yet, the state continued to push that story, that lie of the so-called money drop to the jury through the remainder of the trial. And the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Reasonable doubt. Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news, television news, and podcast publicity about my family. He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the researched and designated areas in the state of Florida other than Tallahassee. All I wanted was a level playing field, but the court wanted the trial here in the hotbed of Tallahassee. I sat through 3 days of jury selection. 180 potential jurors were...
I mean, just the entitlement and audacity of this fucking statement. I'm just picturing her in jail, just writing it down like she's like, this is going to be fucking good. The judge is going to be like, oh my God, I didn't consider all.
I repeat, never.
I was there for jury selection for 3 days, Judge Everett. 3 days, and I saw it.
Asked if they had developed an opinion in my case. Those that answered yes also added, I believe she is guilty. Not one person, not one, said, I think she may be innocent. That should have been a clue to the court to grant our motion for a change of venue. But the court denied the motion. One of my jurors admitted during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about. Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
Another juror...
Mrs. Fulford,
oh, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Zellman, again, this has nothing to do with elocution of any sort. This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given to the appellate court.
Judge is like, what is this, Festivus? This is not time for the airing of grievances.
What does any of this
Get out of here,
do
Mrs.
with
Costanza.
Just one moment, please.
Now again, they gotta fucking go over all this. Look at him. The man who has never bothered. Leave it to Donna Adelson to be the first person to ever upset Judge Everett. Like, I don't think he's ever been upset in his life.
You know what, too? Like, he was not doing anything when they were criticizing him. He got mad because she was criticizing the jurors.
Oh, good call, babe. That is a good call.
I think.
That's a good call. Susan Lupo, $25 Cash App. Thank you so much.
Susan!
And I think we got something else that I missed. Let me play this.
Babe, your hair looks good.
Oh, thanks. So does yours.
Thank you.
DJ Miller. Thank you, DJ Miller.
Thank you.
And we gotta look at this pathetic moron.
But I'm going to prison for a murder. To Danny.
Please.
What happened to Danny is unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence. Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would have been appalled at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial. He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it.
Like, to say that in front of the Markells, what I mean, we know she's a disgusting piece of shit, but really, just anytime she can show you what a disgusting piece of shit she is, she's going to show you. Entitled piece of shit.
The first was Danny being viciously murdered.
Oh, did I miss Harvey's phone? Was that this part? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I think you went past it, looped past it.
Oh, no. Oh, shit. I want to find that part. Wait, she's talking?
Again, this grievances. What does this have to do with sentencing?
Grab just one moment, please.
It's during this, right?
Let's see. All right, there it is. Hold on. There's some things we have to discuss. So when we're watching this live, no one knows who it is. Hold on.
Turn that phone off or step out.
How close was he, first of all, to saying, turn off that fucking phone? Secondly, who has a ringer that's like an actual telephone? Does anyone have in this chat right now have a ringer that's an actual like sounds like an old school telephone? And then I'm like, whose phone? I'm like, whose phone was that? And then we find out. We don't find out here. Where was it where we see him? And by the way, like, he doesn't go into that courtroom like everyone who goes into that courtroom is like, I gotta turn off my phone. Not Harv. He's got his own agenda. He's not worried about the phone. Who cares? He doesn't care. Like, just another thing where the Adelson's like, he doesn't give a shit. He's not worried about getting caught with if the phone rings. And by the way, who's calling Harvey while he's is it his side piece? Who's calling him? Harv, where are you? I'm at the beach. He's at his wife's. Is it Wendy? Who's calling, babe?
Probably Annie Cunningham.
Yeah, it could be Annie.
And that was definitely from WhatsApp, okay?
Did they show him? Because I remember seeing him. Was it there?
Yes.
Like, is that it?
He's coming back in.
There he is. Oh, no, there he comes back in. What? I mean, just only this could only be the Adelsons. No other defendant in the history of the world has this shit happen. Whoop, sorry guys. Sorry about that. And then look at her stupid ass. All right, sorry guys, I'll go back.
Without evidence. But what happened to Danny is unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence. Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would have been appalled at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial. He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it. There are two crimes here. The first was Danny being viciously murdered. The second one is taking my life, the life of an innocent woman. Convicting me should not be retribution for Danny's death. That is not justice for Dan. I've always respected the law. I've never gotten a parking ticket, but I'm going to prison for a murder I did not commit. I do intend to file an appeal so that hopefully I have the opportunity to be given a fair trial outside of Tallahassee. 11 years ago,
I got news for you, bitch. It doesn't matter where the fuck you go. You're going to be found guilty within 3 hours, you fucking dumb piece of shit.
Danny was murdered and taken from all of us who loves him. For the past 9.5 years.
Just to say that twice, how all of us that loved him and we were part of his family, like, you disgusting piece of shit with the Markells that have to listen to that. It makes me so mad that they have to listen to this.
The state has broadcast to the world, including Danny's parents and sister, that I hired hitmen to kill him. Never in a million years would I have wanted Danny to be harmed or killed, nor could I ever do something.
Oh, yeah, babe, you want to point out what you pointed out to me today when we were watching?
Well, I just think that Jack, we have got to keep watching because Jack from Never a True Word said that he is going to do an analysis of this, but I know from watching a lot of his lives that it was a big tell that she said, never would I have done something to harm him, rather than I didn't do it. When people put things in the future tense or in a like bizarre dream world, like I wouldn't have done this, that's typical of deception, as well as minimizing the crime and saying harm. He was murdered.
That would leave these two small boys to grow up without him. I love these boys more than life itself. This is a lifetime of loss for these children. They didn't deserve this. His family didn't deserve this. Danny didn't deserve this. And so, as I appear before you today, Your Honor, I promise you with my whole heart, I swear to you on my...
Her whole heart? My whole black heart. I promise.
I promise you with my whole heart. I swear to you on my life,
I triple dog promise that I was not the killer.
No takesy backsies.
No backsies. No cross fingers.
was not involved in any way with Danny's murder. I was not.
Defense have any further arguments?
Her little shiver.
Yep. No tears.
Pinky swear. Yeah, Judge, I will pinky swear you right now. Judge, we request permission for our client to come up to the bench and pinky swear with you, please.
Comment that the court made a few moments ago concerning...
Exactly, but you will not go under oath and you will not be cross-examined.
Shepherd v. State 227 Southern 3rd 746, the First District Court of Appeal held that lack of remorse cannot be considered in fashioning an appropriate sentence. If this were a situation where remorse and admission of guilt may be grounds for mitigation, the lack of these factors cannot be used to increase the defendant's sentence, and such reliance violates the defendant's due process rights. And they also rely on Ritter v. State 885 Southern 2nd 413, also a first DCA case.
I believe the Supreme Court has ruled on this issue concerning remorse.
Basically what he's arguing...
Yeah, I was going to say, can you explain this for the people that didn't watch this live?
Basically, Judge said when this idiot was yammering her dumb face that if she keeps doing this and doesn't showing remorse, he could use that against her with the sentencing. And the defense is like, no, you can't use remorse. And Judge is like, I have a Supreme Court ruling. And then they decide on that. Not that it matters. I mean, we'll just go to the final part.
Legal sentence here. Do you have anything that distinguishes Davis in any way?
As I said, Your Honor, Davis was not a capital case.
Very well. Any other argument or evidence the defense wishes to present?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Please move forward.
I'm going to put this idiot at least 1.25 because I can't even... This is where she tries to retry the case again.
Your Honor, we're aware that in count 1, the court has no choice but to sentence Mrs. Adelson to life for the first-degree murder charge. We are going to request a downward departure as to counts 2 and counts 3, the solicitation and the conspiracy counts.
What are the grounds?
Pardon me?
What are the grounds?
Yes. The grounds are, one is non-statutory, and that's disparity in the treatment between co-defendants. And the second reason is statutory, and it is Florida Statute 921.00262B. The defendant was an accomplice to the offense and was a relatively minor participant in the criminal conduct.
Boy, her crying face really cleared up pretty fast. It was just pure rage and anger.
The evidence in support of sub B would be the trial record, or do you have something more specific?
For 4B, we're going to rely on the trial record with respect to the conduct of Mrs. Adelson, and we would ask the court to take judicial notice. Your Honor did preside over Charlie Adelson's trial, and the evidence regarding the other co-defendants' activities or participation was also brought out in the testimony in the trial of Mrs. Adelson, so we'd rely on that record, Judge.
Ms. Kappelman, as to the argued grounds for statutory mitigation and also non-statutory mitigation, does the state have any argument to make?
No, Your Honor.
You may continue.
Thank you, Judge. I'll start with the disparity. Do you need case law citations for this, or you're aware of it, Judge? Okay. The first case would be Sanders v. State, 510 Southern 2nd, 296. This is a Florida Supreme Court case from 1987.
One moment. 510 Southern 2nd. What was the other part of the citation?
I have copies, Your Honor.
296, and that's Florida Supreme Court in 1987.
Go ahead.
State versus Fernandez, 927 Southern 2nd, 939, which is a third DCA case from 2006.
All right, I don't care about this.
Case, Judge's State, I can't pronounce it, but the case.
Let's get to when she's going to try to argue.
His conduct, as Your Honor can recall, is that he traveled to Tallahassee sometime in...
May I continue?
Thank you, Judge. I'll start with the disparity argument, if I may, Your Honor. In this case, there have been several co-defendants who have either been tried or entered pleas and received sentences. I want to, for this particular argument, relate exclusively to Luis Rivera. He testified in the trial, and through himself and other witnesses, Your Honor has heard what he did in this case. And what he did in this case compared to what the state has alleged and the jury found that Mrs. Adelson did, the culpability levels are very different. Mr. Rivera was allowed to enter a plea to second-degree murder. And although, as the PSI indicates, he received a sentence of 19 years in the Department of Corrections, that was run concurrent with a sentence he was already serving in a completely unrelated matter in a federal case where he got a 12-year sentence. So the number of years that he will actually serve for his participation in the homicide of Dan Markell.
Yeah, no shit. He pled. He pled, you dope.
Is 7 years in the state of Florida Department of Corrections. His conduct, as Your Honor can recall, is that he traveled to Tallahassee sometime in June and scoped out the home of Danny Markell, engaged in some drug activity with Sigfredo Garcia, and then returned to South Florida.
And why did he go there? Why did he go there, stupid? Why did he go?
A few weeks later, he returned to Tallahassee and again scoped out Danny Markell's house. But he didn't just do that. Prior to arriving in Tallahassee, with himself knowing that he and Sigfredo Garcia were going to kill Danny Markell, he purchased and provided the very firearm that was used to kill Danny. He came to Tallahassee and they sat in wait outside his home. They followed him, with Mr. Rivera being the driver, followed him while he took his 2 little boys to daycare, and he sat and watched as Mr. Markell, hand in hand, took those children inside the daycare. He then followed Mr. Markell all the way to the gym, sitting in wait. What was he waiting for? He knew what he was waiting for.
By the way, just real quick, speaking of Tato, I'm going to continue the rewatch of his testimony, I believe Wednesday at around 6 or 7, so look out for that.
Markell did not. He had no clue that these men were outside in a car just waiting for him to go to a place where they could shoot and kill him.
again, bringing up these details like we don't fucking already know them. Like, who cares?
They waited until he exercised. They watched him get back into his vehicle, and then, like hunters, traveled and followed all of this time period straight to his home. And there was no hesitation. He knew exactly what they were going to do. Without any hesitation, they pulled right in behind Danny. Danny's car was still running, the garage door was up, and Sigfredo Garcia exits the car and shoots Danny Markel, having done nothing to these men, in the head twice. How Mr. Markel survived, I don't know. But then Luis Rivera is the getaway driver. They flee the scene, they flee Tallahassee, and then Mr. Rivera stops to allow Sigfredo Garcia to dispose of the murder weapon, which has never been found. And then he drives back to South Florida like nothing has happened, purchasing motorcycles and cars, but most importantly, getting paid for the work that he's just done. The payment came from Catherine Mangbanois, and I'll address her in the next segment. The point here is, Judge, that over time, reading different things, you've heard a lot of arguments about what Mrs. Adelson's participation allegedly was. But when it comes down to it, and I didn't mention, but Luis Rivera did have an extensive criminal history at the time that he committed this offense. What actually came out at trial with respect to Mrs. Adelson, and I'm saying this, understanding, as you've learned, that Mrs. Adelson still maintains that she is innocent of this conduct. But what the state was able to show through their testimony and evidence was that the role that she played, according to them in the prosecution, was very minimal. The evidence showed that she was very upset when relocation was denied in 2013, not knowing that her daughter had agreed to it, not knowing that until she sat here in trial hearing her daughter's testimony. She wrote some very ugly emails. She said some very ugly things. But in not one of those emails did it ever say that she wished harm upon Danny Markel. And this was in 2013. The evidence was presented by the state that was over a year later that Danny was killed after relocation had been denied. Although they argued that there was continued hostility on the part of Mrs. Adelson regarding the issue of relocation, with the hundreds of thousands of emails they had, they didn't present evidence that this ongoing dispute was being brought up in any way between the parties. The relocation between them, that issue had stopped. The testimony that was elicited was that Charlie Adelson, the son of Mrs. Adelson, was the one who was close with Mrs. Adelson, and that when she had a problem, the argument from the state was, when she had a problem, Charlie was the problem solver. And the testimony at court that was presented by the state supported that theory, that Charlie was the problem solver. They further elicited testimony that without any knowledge of what the phone calls were, Catherine Mangbanois testified that when she was with Charlie Adelson discussing scenarios, which she didn't describe what scenarios she was discussing, that on occasion there would be a phone call between Charlie and his mother. She didn't hear the mother speaking. In fact, he left the room when he talked to, allegedly, the mother, and he came back in. He never relayed to her any information about the phone call. But the state's theory and the evidence that they presented was because Donna Adelson had been so upset about the fact that relocation was denied, and she continued to be upset, according to the testimony, that Charlie Adelson took it upon himself to reach out to someone, which was his girlfriend, and have her get someone that she knew who could commit this murder, make contact with them. According to the testimony in the state, in this case, Charlie Adelson told Katie, Catherine Mangbanois, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, it just says the names were reused, but Mrs. Mangbanois, that she wanted him killed.
Good call, Dreamscape. Jackie finally learned the details about the case after the trial's over, and she's very proud of it, so she wants to bring it out now because during the trial she was taking some snoozles, and so she's pretty proud of herself, and now she's going to... Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous.
And he would pay for that to happen. Her testimony was she had no idea what the payment was going to be, but she did in fact reach out to her, the father of her children, Sigfredo Garcia, and he agreed to commit the homicide. Mr. Garcia then elicited Luis Rivera to participate with him in the homicide, and I'm not going to go through all the evidence in the case. I want to focus on what Mrs. Adelson allegedly did. Up until the point of the homicide, the only evidence was presented about Mrs. Adelson's participation were those ugly emails. And there's a distinction, as we discussed during the trial and sometimes even at sidebar, of the evidence being up to the moment that Mr. Markel was killed. Up to that time, the only evidence introduced by the state in this trial for that time period were those ugly emails, and they were ugly. She called him very foul names. She said some ugly language. She clearly was not happy. And whatever conversations may have taken place while Catherine McVanois was inside Charlie Adelson's home and Charlie was outside talking to another person. Mrs. Adelson maintains her innocence, but if you're looking at this particular cause of this disparity in treatment, the state is asking that Mrs. Adelson be sentenced to obviously life on count 1 as she has to be, followed by 30 years in the Department of Corrections on counts 2 and 3. This is far in excess of the sentence that was received by the man who himself testified to hunting down Danny Markell, providing the gun for him to be murdered with, leaving the scene of the crime, disposing of the murder weapon, and going on with his life in his gang as he always had. In that disparity, Judge, it just doesn't reconcile with the facts here of what they say Mrs. Adelson did. Although there was a theme that she was the mastermind, I would argue to the court that the evidence did not show she was the mastermind in any way. The masterminds that were shown in this trial were Charles Adelson and Catherine McVanois. It didn't show any activity prior to Mr. Markell being killed where Mrs. Adelson was involved in any way.
Take away what you're arguing as the theme for the moment. The chief difference between Luis Rivera and your client is he entered into a plea, correct?
That's correct. He did enter into a plea, but that, according to the case law, that can be considered.
And he has also cooperated with the state testifying in many trials.
He was a cooperating witness testifying in these trials. Mrs. Adelson not only has maintained her innocence, she was never offered anything from the state.
Please continue.
Just in case anybody still believes Tim Jansen.
Yeah, just exactly. Weird. Imagine just making that shit up. Just making it up that there was a deal offered when there was not. Crazy.
Was an accomplice to the offense and a relatively minor participant in the criminal conduct. Some of what I've just argued applies to this one as well, Your Honor. But what I wanted to point out here were the ones that we didn't discuss. So Sigfredo Garcia was found guilty at trial, first-degree murder and conspiracy. His sentence was life on the homicide and an additional 30 years consecutive for the conspiracy count. He is the one who rode in the car. He is the one who obtained Luis Garcia to go with him. He is the one who sat in the seat knowing he was going to exit the car while they hunted down Danny Markell. And he's the one who got out and shot Danny Markell in cold blood. Left like nothing had ever happened. Along the way, made many stops, including getting out to hide the murder weapon, and then went on with his life. The killer is getting the same sentence that the lesser participant, the state is suggesting, get as well. Life in prison on count 1, followed by 30 years for the conspiracy and solicitation. Luis Rivera, I've already told you what his role was. Catherine McVanois got the information from Charlie Adelson according to the evidence, and at his...
Let's have the bot can read this.
Jackie, save this for if you get granted a new trial cause this one is over. Charlie should cut a deal and offer Wendy.
He should, you're right. And thank you, Evan. It's like so many super chats from you. Thank you so much, Evan.
Request obtained someone, Sigfredo Garcia, to do the killing. She is the one who coordinated between Charlie Adelson and Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. Although she testified that she didn't know Luis Rivera was involved until after it was over, the evidence that the state submitted clearly contradicts that. She was communicating with Luis Rivera before, closely to the homicide, and then shortly thereafter. She's the one that spoke to him. She was sentenced on the first-degree murder to life in prison, and on the solicitation and conspiracy, she was sentenced to...
Yaki Fulford, that deserves a highlight.
An additional 30 years. It was run consecutive. Again, the same sentence that they're asking for on Mrs. Adelson is the sentence that this woman who heard the request for a homicide, found the person to commit the homicide, stayed in communication with both of the individuals who were responsible for killing Danny Markell, followed up with them and provided payment to them, and then took payment back from them for her to keep for herself. She was also paid in this. She participated, knew it was happening. They had proof that she knew it was happening. That was submitted to the court. All of that evidence clearly distinguishable from the conduct that they presented in evidence about what Donna Adelson did. Charlie Adelson, according to the testimony in this trial and his own, Charlie Adelson wanted Danny Markell dead. So on his close or very first date with Catherine McVanois, he asks her out in public at Halloween, some Halloween function, hey, do you know anybody who could get somebody killed? According to her testimony, she followed through with that. with Charlie Adelson, never with Donna Adelson, never communicated with her in any way about this. She worked then, if that's what happened and that's what's been testified to, she worked with Charlie Adelson from October of 2013 until Danny Markell was brutally killed in July of 2014. That entire period. And there's evidence, she admitted to most of it, to her.
By the way, I don't know if I missed it, but there's a part where she asks for water, and Donna is clearly pissed at her. It's pretty funny. Donna rolls her eyes. I don't know if
conduct, and there's evidence that was presented in this trial and Charlie's that that's what happened. They made this plan, and that his stapled money was used to pay the killers in this case some $130,000 in cash that was divided up amongst Sigfredo Garcia. Sorry, my mouth is getting dry. Excuse me.
Oh, watch this. Oh, here it is. Did you see that? Did you see that, babe? I gotta put that at once. She was so mad. That eye roll. That was the old Donna. She is not happy with this.
Sigfredo
Watch
Garcia.
this again.
Sorry, my mouth is getting dry. Excuse me.
Watch Donna's eye roll. She's so mad at her.
Thank you, Judge. It was divided up between Sigfredo Garcia, Catherine Magbanowa, and Luis Rivera. She then stayed in contact with Charlie Adelson. She convinced Charlie Adelson to get paychecks written to her, and she received those paychecks each time from Charlie Adelson. So for what Catherine Magbanowa did and what Charlie Adelson did, the evidence in this case shows it went far beyond what the state's evidence showed that Donna did, up to and including the time that Danny was killed. So again, if you're going to rate the level of culpability in this case and consider Mrs. Adelson's conduct as compared to those, they're asking that she get the same sentence as both of the people who killed, well, one person that did the killing, Sigfredo, a far more extensive sentence than Luis Rivera, who participated in the killing himself and only got 7 years, the same as Catherine Magbanowa, that apparently worked on this according to the evidence for many, many months and stayed involved even after that. Charlie Adelson is the only one who got a higher sentence. His sentence was life on count 1, the homicide, followed by 30 years on count 2 and another 30 years on count 3, so everything being run consecutively. The evidence that the state has presented is that Charlie Adelson is the one who masterminded this. That's what they've shown. Even though they said Catherine Magbanowa wasn't her trial, if there's somebody who started this, according to the evidence, it's Charlie Adelson, not Donna Adelson. All the work being done was Charlie Adelson. All the money that was paid was Charlie Adelson's money. Mrs. Adelson, according to the state's evidence, did not do any of that. Again, they had hundreds of thousands of dollars, or hundreds of thousands of emails. Never one in all of those emails that we all had to go through did Mrs. Adelson.
Joanne, who has been a member for 2 years. Bye-bye, Donna. Back to your cell, and I hope you live to 120. Me too. Thank you so much, Joanne, for your support, as always.
Ever suggest any harm to Danny Markell in any way. I understand the verdict, and she has a right to take an appeal, and that's what she'll do. But the evidence in what was argued is very far different in theory than what was actually presented.
Look how fucking mad Stupid is back here, too. He is seething.
To this jury. And I'm requesting that Your Honor, in determining a sentence on counts 2 and 3, take into consideration that the amount of activity that everyone engaged in this case was far, far beyond what was alleged against Mrs. Adelson. They just didn't come up with the proof for that. They did prove to a jury that she was involved, but that proof and the actual evidence was very limited to the conduct that they say that she engaged in that resulted in Mr. Markell's death. I do want to remark, if I may, just briefly on the issue of remorse. Mrs. Adelson maintains her innocence, and as she has a lawful right to do, will seek an appeal. She may not get another trial. There may or may not be parts of the finding of the jury that is reversed, may not. They can do that on, the appellate court can do that on 1, 2, or 3 counts. There are lots of options that the appellate court has. The reason I say that is this. Mrs. Adelson, maintaining her innocence, could not have shown more remorse for the killing of Danny Markell.
Really? I'm going to just get in court and say that.
And in her statement, although some of it I know was bothersome to the court, in her statement, I hope you heard.
I wouldn't say bothersome to the court.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. I misread then. I apologize for your comments. One of the things she said in her statement, after most of her statement being about the horrible thing that happened to Danny Markell, was that the people who were responsible for it were in prison. pretty big statement considering what the state believes Mrs. Adelson's position is with respect to the others who've been prosecuted, convicted, and are serving sentences in the Florida Department of Corrections. I also want to say this. The defense's position in this case, from start to finish, has always been, on behalf of Mrs. Adelson, beyond respectful.
That's a pretty big deal that, you know, she's basically saying her son is guilty. So does she want to meddle? Like, way to go, Donna. You said Charlie's guilty or alluded to it in your statement by saying that the people responsible are in prison, even though we have no idea if you meant Charlie or not. Like, case dismissed. Go home, Donna.
To the victim in this case, Danny Markell. He should not be lost in this case, and I said that in my opening statement. We presented evidence about a wonderful man he was. He did not deserve for this to happen. The Markells gave their statements at the conclusion of the verdict that was issued by the jury, and I listened to every single word. And every single word that they said came out of the terrible grief from the loss of their son and the feelings that they have developed over the course of this 11 years in prosecuting these various people and additional information that has been given to them. Every word they had every right to say. The feelings that they had are exactly what they should have. What happened to Danny Markell, as Donna Adelson has said in her statement, could not have been more horrific. He was treated like an animal, completely unaware that there was any kind of problem, that he would have any kind of physical altercation with anybody. I'm positive the first thing from his mind that day was that someone was going to kill him in his garage at his home. He did not deserve what he got. It's been very clear in the prior prosecutions and what was presented in Mrs. Adelson's trial about the conduct of these other individuals. They do deserve to be where they are. They do. Their conduct is unimaginable to me, that human beings would engage in that kind of conduct to bring a man, an innocent man, a well-respected man, an amazing father, to take him away from his mother, his father, his sister, most importantly, his children. That was horrific. I understand why those sentences were imposed. Not for Mr. Rivera, but for the ones that were tried and convicted. In this case, Judge, based on the evidence that was presented, the defense is going to ask on counts 2 and 3 that you sentence Mrs. Adelson to 3 years in the Florida Department of Corrections, counts 2 and 3 to run concurrently. My understanding in the court, the clerk can tell me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is Mrs. Adelson has 701 days credit time served. That's what we calculated.
I'll stipulate to 701, Your Honor.
George is like, I don't care.
Anything more on counts 2 and 3, Judge. First of all, in order for it to assist Mrs. Adelson, she's going to have to be successful on count 1 on appeal. If she is, anything more than that period of time is going to basically be a death sentence for Mrs. Adelson. She is soon to be 76 years old.
Good.
Her health has gotten worse while incarcerated, as anyone would probably expect. Her husband is 81 years old. Compared, 3 years compared to the man who participated in the killing getting 7 years, I believe is a just and reasonable sentence for Mrs. Adelson. We are also going to ask, Your Honor, after imposing sentence, I know it's nothing but a recommendation, but we would ask if you make a recommendation to the Florida Department of Corrections that Mrs. Adelson be placed as close to Miami as possible, where her husband resides, so that she can have visitation. I understand we don't have any control over Department of Corrections, but we would appreciate that recommendation. And may I have just one moment, please?
Go ahead.
If you could recommend that, and it was that Ms. Adelson not be housed with Ms. McDaniel, or at least have a separation, if you could recommend that, and if Ms. McDaniel is currently at Lowell CI.
Yes, Judge, I thank you for that, Ms. Kappelman. I wanted to raise that issue because we did check into that. Judge, I contacted the Florida Department of Corrections. They did indicate that they would be able to keep them separate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that folks who are familiar with and friendly with Mrs. McDaniel wouldn't be where Mrs. Adelson would be, so we are concerned about that, about her being placed at that facility. I didn't know it before, but the reception center for the women actually keep inmates there, so that I know that's a possibility, but again, that's in Ocala, and we're respectfully requesting that she be placed closer to Miami. Thank you.
Going to review the last case the defense has presented for downward departure. Ms. Kappelman, you had something else?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
All because they just couldn't wait They just couldn't go by a divorce. They were so entitled. They literally thought they could get away with murder. And now, even after 11 years, finally, some justice for this piece of shit. And they still are so entitled that they think they're going to get away with it. They think, for sure, Donna thinks her appeal is going to get, based on her statement, she's going to be like, they didn't change the venue. I'm going to get this overturned. She's thinking that.
Yeah, and letting the juror on that said she had some knowledge of what.
Right. She thinks for sure she's going to get an appeal overturned.
Oh, of course. I mean, what any person with her personality type is always going to believe that people believe them.
Cases presented by the defense concerning the downward departure. Also, as well, the argument that has been presented, the court has reviewed its notes of the trial and will rule on the issue of downward departure at this point. Florida Supreme Court has a two-part test concerning court based on a step as well as on the totality round to then as well.
I'm just getting to the sentencing because Babe has a session coming up, so I'm just trying to get this.
Level of planning and coordination to bring the murder of Professor Markell to fruition was significant in this case. These were not crimes of chance or opportunity, and these crimes also required you to conspire with your son and others. You certainly can choose to deny your involvement and maintain innocence. The court finds the evidence in this case is clear. You will be sentenced accordingly this afternoon. The jury has found you guilty on charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and the court previously adjudicated you guilty as to these same charges on September 4th of this year. On count 1 of the indictment for first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole or release pursuant to sections 782.04 and 775.082 sub 1 sub a Florida statutes. On count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to 30 years in the Department of Corrections that will run consecutive to count 1. The court will also sentence you to 30 years in the Department of Corrections on count 3. Counts 2 and 3 are to run concurrent with each other, but consecutive to count 1. As to the fees and costs, the clerk can please announce those at this time.
$2,100 as a fine pursuant to section 775.083, $105 as the 5% surcharge required by section 938.04, $20 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.06, crime stop trust fund, $3 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.01, subsection 1, criminal justice trust fund, $50 pursuant to section 938.03, crimes compensation trust fund, $225 pursuant to section 938.05, local government criminal justice trust fund, $2 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.15, county criminal justice $5 as a court cost pursuant to subsection 2, county crime prevention, $65 as a court cost pursuant to section $9 as
Court will reserve jurisdiction on to determine for 60 days. If a hearing needs to take place concerning this matter, that will take place at a future time. As the defense's request for the court to make a recommendation to the Department of Corrections to place Mrs. Adelson in a facility near Miami-Dade County, I have no problem making this recommendation.
I hope the Department of Corrections is like, nice recommendation, but no, sorry, we can't do it for you, Donna. Sorry. You're going to have to be 8 hours away. Fuck you.
Department of Corrections.
I mean, by the way, the Department of Corrections that Donna has already had a hearing about because she was upset with how they handled her. Like, you think they're going to be like, oh, well, if Donna wants it.
They'll have the final say because this is an administrative.
Oh, man, how great would that be if they say no?
Matter. I will also recommend to the department that Mrs. Adelson is not to be placed in any unit or facility that would also house Catherine McVanawa. The court did previously award to the state, based on the September 17th, 2024 continuance of the trial, costs that were related to that. Ms. Kappelman, part of what you're seeking to pursue, is that included within that, or is that a separate number?
All right, I think we can end it there. Thank you guys all so much for being here and for all your support and all the super chats. And I think I got all of them, the cash apps and the coffees. We really appreciate it very much. Again, I'll be live on Wednesday, probably 6 or 7 Eastern. Keep watching Tato's testimony from the first trial continuation. Just got a $10 Venmo from Parisian. Cussing rants about Grandma Gotti. Love your coverage. Thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you all, babe. You have anything to say?
Just we've both been through this, and so I think no, we haven't been through a murder trial. We've both been through a contentious divorce and contentious custody thing. And I was just listening to the prosecutor's pod the other day because they were doing the Morphew case, and at the end they both were like, you know, the takeaway from this and what we always try to tell people is like, you don't, you know, like, don't murder, you know, just get a divorce. It's not a big deal. Just get a divorce. And my takeaway from this, and this has happened with both of us, is that when we first got divorced, our custody agreements, for both of us, were not what we wanted. And we're nothing like what they are now. And so any friends that I've had, or, you know, my brother just recently went through a divorce. And I was like, you just cannot think of this as like, this is the way it's going to be for the next 18 years or whatever. You cannot think of that because things really do change and things really do evolve in different ways. And so you really have to just focus on today. So if you are going through a difficult custody situation, obviously I'm not saying don't murder, because obviously don't murder, but don't lose hope because things can change and you don't know. You don't know what might happen.
Great point, babe. So I think I'll end it there with a thank you. Also, I want to say, fuck Ben Graber.
Yeah.
Fuck Harvey. Fuck Donna, obviously. Who was the other one? Any of those witnesses, most of them, fuck all of them. And remember what Georgia said. Stay tuned, folks. We talked about a previous source who was like, well, it's not going to happen. Well, let's just stay tuned and keep our eyes on the prize. There are other people who need to be convicted for this crime other than this piece of shit, mainly her husband and her daughter. So stay tuned. And thank you all so much. And have a good night, everybody.